Shut up, compressor. Hey everyone, Matt here with Doogs Models, coming to you with a video on a technique that I'm pretty sure isn't new, but is certainly new to me. And that is a way to represent the look of exposed rivet and fastener heads on aircraft. Now, if you look at references of, for example, the 1D Corsair, like the one sitting in front of us, or pretty much any sort of camouflaged aircraft in World War II operating from some sort of primitive field, you see a lot of this if you look carefully. You'll typically see it in places like, these panel lines here just aft of where the cowl is, where there are fasteners that the crew would get in there and unbolt, unscrew, unfasten, and those fasteners get scuffed and chipped and dinged and the paint flakes away and you're left with a little bright dot that shows up in the reference photos. Now, typically with kits like this that have all this lovely recessed detail, the way to bring that detail out is with panel line washes. So, for example, I think Ammo makes basically some of the best out there. These are nice muted tones that kind of mesh well with various camouflage schemes out there. I've actually got one here for dark sea blue, for example. Brush those on and then you wipe them off and you're left with a little tiny dollop of color in a panel line or a recessed hole that represents a rivet. And that's great for building some sort of micro contrast essentially across the airframe, but they don't make one in silver, aluminum, that sort of metallic shade that would represent those exposed rivets. And so I've been doing a bit of testing on a mule, and last night I put it into practice for the first time on the port side over here. Let's zoom in a little bit. So as you can see, pointer, sort of right here along this panel line with these fasteners, and especially on the leading edge right in here, kind of coming through here, you can see these little rivet holes that have been sort of picked out with aluminum to really add to all the rest of the hairspray chipping that's been going on. That, this light washes everything out, but you can still see what's happening there. So the hairspray chipping brings all the dings and bangs up, and then these little aluminum dots show where different rivets get scuffed and things like that. I think it's a pretty effective look. It complements the chipping nicely, and it definitely matches what we see in the wartime reference photos. So now, how to pull it off on an actual kit. So now, how do I actually pull this off? Well, for this you're going to need a couple things. First of all, you're going to need an enamel aluminum or silver of some kind. And for that I have AK's Extreme Metal Aluminum right here. It's a nice fast drying aluminum. I've heard this is great as just a bare metal finish in general, but I've never honestly used it for that because I'm wary of using an enamel product when I use a lot of enamels and oils for weathering purposes. You're also going to need some sort of mineral spirit, naphtha, solvent type thing that cleans up oils and enamels. So I've got some naphtha sitting in here. It's kind of dirty, but I really don't care because it just does the job it needs to do. You're going to need Q-tips for wiping all that shit away. And you're going to need a little brush. It doesn't have to be anything fancy because, again, this stuff just wipes up. Okay, so first I'm going to shake up the Extreme Metal, get it mixed, and then I'm just going to do this leading edge just a little bit, just enough to sort of demonstrate what's going on here. So, because the camera is literally right next to my cheek, and that is annoying as all hell. So, right in here, get and so I found that a dabbing motion seems to work better. because you want to get that paint down into the holes. Okay, so I think that's enough to work with. We've got a few areas, maybe I'll add a little bit more right in here. And then I'm not sure I got in there with that one, it might have been too dry. Okay. That's literally all there is to that. Unscrew the naphtha, grab a toothpick, get it damp with the stuff. And then we literally just come in here and wipe the excess away. Now, because this extreme metal is kind of hardy stuff, I found it likes to have a little bit of extra liquid to really get it to go away. And then you turn it around, wipe it clean. Do another pass just to make sure I get all the silver. And then, as you can see, you can see there we've got, so I block the light beaming down a little bit, but we've got some silver in there, you know, some silver right along here, basically little touches that just kind of add to the overall story that the chipping is telling. Now, if you want to be absolutely sure you're not doing anything to your paint, you can by all means clear coat, etc. Which probably I honestly should do, but I'm being kind of loosey-goosey with the rules here, so whatever. Yeah, that is all there is to it. It's actually a very simple technique, moves fast, and has a small impact per rivet, but when you kind of zoom back and look at the whole thing, especially when you don't have the light beaming at you in ways like this that sort of blow out this exact contour you're trying to show. Let's see if I can. You know, I mean, it definitely does help the look going on here quite a bit. So, that is literally all there is to it. Just dab on some AK Extreme Metal, give it a second to set, come in with Q-tips and with naphtha, mineral spirits, odorless, artist thinner, whatever. Wipe the excess away, maybe do a second pass just to make sure you've cleaned it all off the paint, and you are good to go. So that is it. Hopefully that clears up any confusion going on about this, and any confusion that what I was talking about there was actually not the same as all the hairspray chipping that has gone on the rest of the wing. So that's it. Happy modeling and all that jazz, and I'm sure I'll be back with another video at some point in the future.